There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston, I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me.
My name is Not Seeing the Dream. I'm a 15-year amateur boxer, giving my views and opinions on everything boxing related. I'm here to give you guys consistent, reliable, unbiased commentary. Boxing is my passion, slaying trolls is my hobby. Hope you enjoy. Like, comment, and subscribe. YouTube. So last night, Terence Crawford became the first man to stop Shawn Porter in the 10th round, dropping him twice. Shawn Porter was caught lunging in. Terence Crawford caught him with a shot. He dropped him. Then the second time, he started to put his combinations together, and he hit Shawn Porter with a hard hook. Shawn Porter went down. Shawn Porter started punching the ground like Creed from Creed 2 when Creed was mad. You could clearly tell he wanted to continue to fight, but Kenny Porter stopped the fight, and a lot of people didn't agree with it. I didn't agree with it. I think that Shawn Porter could have continued, or he could have gotten knocked out. But it's up to Shawn Porter to make that choice whether he wants to continue. And the way he dissed his son Kenny Porter after the fight was ridiculous. He said that he knew he had to throw the towel in, and that Shawn Porter prepare as much as he liked to or how he wanted him to do. And I think that's just quite disrespectful. This is the best we ever seen Shawn Porter look. We've seen Shawn Porter slipping punches, bouncing on his toes, boxing more, using more ring intelligence. This is the best we ever seen Shawn Porter. He put out all the stops for this fight, and to say that he didn't prepare as you wanted him to was just ridiculous. And it shows that you have a lack of confidence in your son by saying that you knew you got to throw it in the towel. You don't know Shawn Porter's ability to survive in the ring. Deontay Wilder, an example, he was knocked down in the 10th round against Tyson Fury, and he still kept fighting. He somehow managed to hurt Tyson Fury at the last 30 seconds of that round. So anything is possible in boxing. But to how this fight went down, it was a very competitive fight. I had Shawn Porter winning before the stoppage. Shawn Porter was using effective aggression. He was bouncing on his toes. He was slipping punches, like I said. He was catching Terence Crawford with an overhand right, and he managed to hurt Terence Crawford at least twice in his fight. Terence Crawford, he kept composed. He stuck his tongue out. He laughed. He made sure he wasn't getting hit with ridiculous shots. Shawn Porter was also able to catch Terence Crawford with the left hook sometimes, looping overhand right. The problem with Shawn Porter is that I think the punches started to affect him more, and he started to get more aggressive. He started to lunge in. That's where Terence Crawford's ring intelligence started to come into play. He started to catch Shawn Porter with these beautiful, hard shots, whether it was a jab, a left hook, or a right hook. He was fighting southpaw, and then he started to get more aggressive towards the last 3 rounds following up to that round. He started to, not walk down Shawn Porter, but he started to have more success against Shawn Porter, started to counter Shawn Porter more. Shawn Porter, you can clearly tell that he wasn't liking the punches. Terence Crawford is definitely a hard puncher. This was a very entertaining and competitive fight, though. Shout out to Shawn Porter, gave it his all. He has nothing to be ashamed of. He's given the toughest fighters in his division tough fights, and he has wins over Danny Garcia, Jordanis Ugas, Andre Berto, and Adrian Broner. So he's nothing to be ashamed of. He lost to one of the best fighters in the division, to Terence Crawford. Let's see this Errol Spence fight happen. There's no reason why this fight should not happen. The WBC said it could happen. The IBF said it could happen. And so has the WBO. We want to see Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. That is one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing. To how I think that fight will go down, I think it's going to be a very nip and tuck fight. It's going to be a tactical chess match similar to this fight. I think that Errol Spence is going to be able to have more success against Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford, I think he's going to have to respect Errol Spence's power more he does against Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter is not necessarily known for his punching power. Errol Spence is. Errol Spence is also not as lunging in as much as Shawn Porter does. He doesn't get as wild as Shawn Porter. He keeps his punches tight, focused, and clean, and he throws more body shots than Shawn Porter. I can see Errol Spence having the same success that Shawn Porter did, using effective aggression in that ring. He has shown that he can box and bang at the same time. But Terence Crawford, to his ability, he's a very smart fighter. He knows when to switch it up, when to counter, switch stances, throw his jab, get aggressive. So, I think Errol Spence is going to win, but I think it's going to be just a very, very competitive fight. I think Errol Spence is going to struggle with Terence Crawford's ring intelligence and his counter ability. I think that Terence Crawford is going to struggle with Errol Spence's aggression in the ring and his nonstop drive to knock him out. So let's see if this fight happens, though. It's definitely one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing between two undefeated and two very talented fighters relatively in their prime. So this is my take on it, though. But to wrap this up, this is Not Seeing the Dream. Rocking Serious, next day's asleep. I hopped on another one. Peace.